Jamie looks like any other 13-year-old you might know. Your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece, your sister, your neighbor, your friend. But by the time Jamie was 13 years old, she'd already been sexually assaulted repeatedly since she was 8. She didn't tell anyone. She harbored this secret, and she felt ashamed and guilty for 5 years before she was finally able to tell someone about it. She was so scared to tell anyone, you see, because the person who was hurting her was her father. He had threatened her in many ways, including that if she had told anyone, he would hurt her 6-year-old baby sister as well as her mom. So Jamie kept that dark, terrifying secret in her most private thoughts. When Jamie started middle school, the sexual assaults escalated in both frequency and severity. She later shared with me that at that point in her life, her strongest feeling was, I just can't take this anymore. She had wondered for many years how she could ever tell someone this. From the very first time it happened, she wanted to speak up. No, she wanted to scream, but she couldn't. It wasn't until one day, while visiting with her grandmother, that she took a hugely courageous step and started to tell just a little bit of what had been happening. That her father was making her do and watch things that made her uncomfortable, that he touched her in places that were embarrassing, that he hurt her a lot and often. He'd even told her that this was normal. But if this is so normal, she wondered, why does it hurt? Jamie was scared. She was embarrassed. She knew her mother worked very hard, and she didn't want to create any problems for the family. She was even afraid that people might think she'd done something wrong or done something to deserve this. She wondered that herself. Maybe people wouldn't even believe her at all. But she couldn't hold it in any longer, and she finally told. Jamie's grandmother was understandably shocked, but she was wise enough to pause and to listen patiently without questions or judgment. Throughout her granddaughter's tears, she just listened. And she believed Jamie. She immediately called the ywca to get information on how on earth could she help her granddaughter. I spoke with her grandmother when she first called the hotline, and then met Jamie and her grandmother at the hospital. I sat with them during the forensic exam and throughout the law enforcement reporting. I helped them understand what was happening and what to expect next. Mostly, though, I assured them that they weren't alone, that we would be with them throughout this whole process, and that they would, in fact, make it through. After her initial treatment at the hospital, we shortly thereafter connected her with a counselor who helped Jamie understand that she'd done nothing wrong, that it wasn't her fault. And we assisted her grandmother and her mother in accessing many services, including individual counseling and support groups. I worked with the family throughout the legal process and the prosecution of her offender, and beyond that. Jamie was so incredibly brave. She knew she didn't want her father to do this ever again. Because a 13-year-old girl courageously spoke up, and because the other adults in her life believed her, and because the YWCA provided services, Jamie, her sister, and her mom are now safe and supported in a home free from violence. That is worthy of clapping. Thank you. She's amazing. So victim survivors of sexual assault are all around us. Many may be in this room, They are family members, friends, neighbors, faith community members, teachers, nurses, doctors, women and men, and they are children just like Jamie. That's why it's so vital that we take a stand together to support victims and survivors of sexual assault. Because when we support those in crisis in our community, we create a stronger, safer, healthier, and more hopeful Clark County. This is where you come in. It's a tough year to ask for money. The economy is affecting us all, making it even more difficult to spend what funds we have. But this has never been a community that shrinks away from helping those in need or finding ways to support our most vulnerable. It's always been a community where people realize that by supporting these life-changing programs, we make our community better and stronger. And our community is full of strong allies in this work. And today you have the opportunity to become such an ally in supporting this. Quite simply, we need your help to save lives. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's way easier for me to spend 5 hours in a hospital emergency room with a victim survivor of sexual assault than it is to stand up here before you. As my friends can attest to this. But because of courageous survivors like Trisha and Jamie and all the others, those who have spoken out and those who may still carry a secret, I am willing to stretch myself. As Trisha so beautifully said, what can I do? What can we do right now? So in the middle of your tables, you will see contribution forms and pens. I ask that you take a moment and consider a donation to the YWCA. And consider, too, how powerful it is for people like Jamie and her family to know that there are hundreds of people in our community who care about her health, her happiness, and her safety. People who want her to succeed and who believe in her. So we're asking you today, right now, to believe in the YWCA, to support this mission, to support the life-saving, life-changing work that we provide so that our community members in need can get help and support, so that other victims and survivors can be hopeful about their future. And now I have a very exciting announcement with this request. We have several generous donors who have made it possible to double your donation. That's right, double your donation, up to $25,000. We want to thank the incredible community members who have made this matching fund possible. Because of their generosity, every dollar you contribute today, they will double your donation. Many thanks to Nancy Lamata, who has graciously donated $10,000. Thank you, too, to Joe Paletto, who has generously donated $5,000. Teresa Paletto, who has also contributed $5,000 to the YWCA's mission. And thank you to Joyce and Charles Carter, longtime YWCA volunteers and supporters who have donated $2,500 to the matching fund. There are also several anonymous donors contributing. Thank you all. This match means that for every dollar you donate, they will double your donation. If you give $500 to the YWCA will receive $1,000. We need to raise as much money as possible, so please give what you can. Not only are you doubling your donation, you are multiplying the impact you make for our children and our community. So please, I ask, I implore, I invite you to give generously. fill out the forms in the middle of the tables. There's an envelope there that you can tuck those in. You can put a check if you want or write out credit card information, whatever works for you, and we'll collect those at the end. And most importantly, on behalf of Jamie and the YWCA, I want to thank you for your support.
Thank you, Lori. Excuse me. Thank you, Lori, and thank you all so much for your support today and for your commitment to the mission of the YWCA Clark County. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jennifer Wardell, and I'm the Director of Development and Communications with YWCA. Today is a special day as we come together to hear compelling stories that offer hope to those who feel helpless and inspire those of us to realize that we can make a difference and save and improve lives. Your commitment is evident in that you are present in this room with so many others who feel that community building can do and create positive opportunities for those in need. Thank you for all that you can give today and all that you can do in support of this important work in the future. And now I'd like to take just a moment and thank our wonderful sponsors for today's luncheon. Thanks to the generosity of these community partners, we open the doors today a fully underwritten event. Every dollar of your contributions will go directly to support the programs and services that the YWCA offers. Our presenting sponsors today are Schwabe Williamson and Wyatt, The Columbian, and Kiewit. Today's keynote sponsor is Columbia Credit Union. Our book sponsor is the Vancouver Clinic, and our gold sponsors are Home Instead Senior Care, the Vancouver Business Journal, IQ Credit Union, Connie and Lee Carney. And our silver sponsors are Corwin Beverage Company, Miller Nash, Providence Health and Services, the Boeing Company, and NACO Materials Handling Group. Several of our amazing sponsors are brand new supporters of the YWCA, and we feel so fortunate that we're able to count on the support of so many wonderful community partners. Let's have a round of applause one more time for our amazing sponsors.
And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't thank the fabulous Benefit Luncheon Committee and staff members who put this together. I'll briefly tell you who those are. And our table captains as well. We have a ton of people who put tables together, and thank you so much. The Benefit Luncheon Committee was Christina Aitchison, Tracy Cole, Sherry Parker, and our fabulous chair, Mika Kohlberg. And staff members who were integral in helping put this event on were Leslie Stows, Jennifer Wardell, Dawn Seaman, and Sharon Sveck. Thank you to all of you.